This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to GoOnlineTrainings.com. We are talking about SQL Server database architecture, and in a single computer, we can install SQL Server 50 times. This is what is the shocking news, right? Any software can be installed only once. Any software can be installed only once, but we are saying we can install SQL Server software 50 times in your laptop. Okay. For learning purpose, you need to install only once, but in the real time, people may be installing 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. What is the reason? The reason I explained clearly in yesterday's video. Hope you have downloaded the video. People who are new today, so they will be receiving those videos as well. We have completed 2 classes, and this is the third class. Okay, this is the number 3 class, and you please download those videos and watch them. Clear? Okay. Once you install SQL Server, the first instance is called as a default instance. The first instance is called as a default instance. Default instance will be having Windows name as a SQL Server name. So that's what we have discussed already. Now, in a single setup, we can create 32,767 databases, right? So what is the database? Database is collection of file groups and collection of transaction log files. Now, one instance can have these many databases, and one database can have these many file groups maximum, and one database also can have one or more transaction log files. Now within the file group, we can have again data files where the data is being stored. In one file group, you can have 32,767 data files maximum, and one data file will have one or more extents, and one extent is nothing but 8 pages. 8 pages are called one extent, and one table data is going to be occupied in one or more pages. Let me open Paint and let me explain slowly. Clear? So now we are talking about a database. When we create a database, so let me create one database. This is my database. Okay. Let me draw the database nicely. So, okay. This is my database. Clear? Now, the database name is called, let us say, iBank database. I'm going to be storing all the bank related data inside this. When I create a database called iBank, what happens? It is going to create a lot of items internally. The first one it is going to be creating is a file group. Okay, it's going to be creating a file group. Let me say a file group is going to be created. The file group name is called primary. Clear? What is a file group? So it is similar to folder in Windows. Very simple. It is going to be grouping the files. So if you go to Windows, you can see a lot of folders, right? So why folders are important? Folders are important to create or to store our data, right? So this is a folder, this is a folder, this is a folder. I have a lot of folders in this. So why the folders are important? To group the files. Clear? In SQL Server, in SQL Server, it is not a folder, which is a file group. So file group means in Windows, it is called as a folder. That's it, nothing else. What is a file group? File group is called as a folder only, which can group a lot of files. What is a folder? Which can group a lot of files. You can create a folder and you can give a name to the folder, right? So whenever you create a folder, you give a name. So by default, you're going to be getting a name called primary. Okay, what is a primary? Which is a file group. What is a file group? Which is a folder. Okay, so every database will have minimum one file group, but maximum you can have 32,767 file groups. That is the max. But by default, when you create a database, you get a one file group. So what is a file group? It is a folder. Clear? So that's what. And you are going to be getting one transaction log file. So you are getting one more log file. So this is a log file. Clear? So let me say this is what is called a transaction log file. Clear? So we are going to be having a path. A file means there is a path, right? So it will be available. C program. Okay, some path will be there. C program files and slash dot dot dot, some path will be there, and ibank.ldf is the extension. Clear? Which is a file. So whenever you create a file, every file will have a path, right? For example, I have created a file. So this file, or I'll create a file. So whenever you create any file, what will happen? You are going to be getting a path. Clear? So what is the path of this file? So the path will be this. So I don't have any files here, but if you go to somewhere, there's a path, right? If you say what is the path will be, this is the complete path slash customer.txt, or members dot blah blah blah. So like that, every file will have a path. Clear? So the path is this. So where is this file available? C program files, and there is a path. I don't remember the path, but the extension would be ibank.ldf. ldf means log file. Clear? So that is the what you need to understand. Why log file is important? That why log file is there, that we'll see later. So when you create a ibank database, you need to know that one primary file group gets created and one transaction log file will get created. What is a file group? Which is a folder. Now, folder cannot store data. Inside the folder, you should have a file, right? So this is what is called a file. This is what is called a file. This file is called as a data file. What is this? This is what is called data file. So that's what I'm saying. So when you go here, by default, we are going to create one database. One database will have minimum one file group and a minimum one transaction log file. Within the file group, what is a file group? File group is a folder, and within folder you can have minimum one data file, but maximum these many files. Guys, please mute yourself. Somebody is unmuted. So, Sambashivareddy, I think you have unmuted. Please mute yourself. Make sure you unmute. Mute, guys. Sambashivareddy, please mute. Yeah, please, guys, please mute. Otherwise, the recording will not be very clean recording. Okay. Make sure that you're muting. Don't unmute. If you have a question, you can ask me. You can chat with me. Yeah, guys, clear. So by default, you will get one data file. I go, let me show my paint. So I'm going to be having one data file. Data file is divided into pages. Page number 1, page number 2, page number 3, page number 4. Am I clear? So page number 5, right? So page number 6, page number 7, page number 8, like that. Lot of pages will be available. So this is page number 1. This is page number 2. This is page number 3. Page number 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. So again, page number is going to start with 1. Clear? So every data file will have a lot of pages. For example, if I open Windows Word, you will have a lot of pages, right? So this is page number 1. If you press enter, you go to the page number 2, right? So if you go to insert page numbers, automatically you will be able to get the page numbers, right? So however, we're getting a page number 1, 2, 3. So every file will have a lot of pages, especially for Windows Word, MS Word. This is what is called a page, and the page also will have a page number 1, page number 2, like that. You can go and keep on press enter, press enter, press enter. When you come down, it is going to create one more page. Now it is assigning a number to that. Have you seen this? So like that, in this we have a page numbers, but page numbers are repeated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again 1, 2, 3. So this is what is called a page. If somebody asks you what is this, this is a page. So what is the page size in SQL Server, which is 8 KB? What is the page size, which is 8 KB? It is fixed in size. Nobody can modify, nobody can change. Even Bill Gates cannot change. Period. Clear? So nobody can change this, which is a fixed of 8 KB. So what is this? This is a page. This is a page. So 8 pages are called. So from here to here. So this is page number 1 to page number 8. Clear? So this is page number 8. So page number 1 to page number 8. So from this to this. This is what is called. This is what is called an extent. Clear? So an extent. Extent is what? Extent is called as 8 pages are called as an extent. 8 pages. Clear? So what is a dozen? Dozen means 12 items are called a dozen, right? So like 8 pages are called an extent. So this is first extent, and from here again page number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that is again one more extent. Clear? So this file will have a path, right? So see, where is the path? Maybe having somewhere, see program files. This path you can change it later, so you can keep them in D drive, C drive, wherever you wanted to have it. Clear? See program files dot 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 and ibank. Okay, ibank dot mdf. Mdf stands for master data file. Clear? So whenever you create a database going to be creating three things. One is a transaction log file. So this is what is called transaction log file, right? And this is transaction log file, and it is going to create what is called as a file group, and within the file group you are going to be having a data file. What is a file group? File group is a folder. File group is a folder. Within that, by default, you are going to get one data file. Data file is a collection of pages. Each page will have a page number, and each page is going to be having 8 KB of size. Nobody can change the page size in SQL Server, including Bill Gates. Clear? If one page is 8 KB, if one page is 8 KB, and what is the extent? Extent is 8 pages. So extent size will be 64 KB, 8 into 8, right? It is a 64 KB of extent. Clear? So one page size is 8 kilobytes. Extent size means 8 pages are called as an extent. And extent, you will have a lot of extents in a given, file. File will have a lot of extents, and each extent is going to be having 8 pages. Now, you are going to be creating a table, because RDBMS is going to store the data in the tables. Tables are available within the databases. Clear? So you create a table. So this is your table. You're going to be creating. Inside the table, we are going to insert lot of data. Okay, lot of data we are going to be inserting. The table name is called employee. You can create any table, employee table. So you may be inserting 1,000 rows in it. So employee ID. So the structure will be something like this: employee ID, employee name, employee salary. You're inserting data. Employee one, say John, salary is 1,000. Two, say Ram, it is 2,000. Three, say Usman, right? So we have something like this, 3,000. So we are going to be inserting a lot of data inside this table. Clear? So you think that you have inserted 1,000 rows, all the data from the table, you know what happens? All the data from here, it is going to start. You insert into this table, this table is going to put all the data into these pages. Clear? So what happens? All the data is going to come and going to occupying these pages. Once the page is full, once the page is full, it will go to the next page. Clear? It will go to the next page. So this is where the data of the employee table is going to come. Now, if this page is full, it will occupy next page. Have you seen? So it is going to be occupying one table data occupied in 3 pages. Clear? Now later, you may be creating one more table. The one more table may be called as a department table, because in a given database you can create thousands of tables. So the department table is you creating. Again, in this you are going to store, let us say, some 50 rows, or let us say some 100 rows. Okay, so you have different information that is being stored. This data is going to be occupied in the next page. Clear? For you, everything is separate. But after that, what will happen? If you eat pizza and burger, everything is going to go to your stomach. For you, everything is separate while eating. But once you take in the food, what happens? Everything will go into your body in a single place called stomach, right? So like that, all the tables are separated in this, but actually data is going to stored where? In your data file only. Clear? So where exactly the data is being stored? In your data pages. And again tomorrow what happens? You wanted to store another, let us say, another 50 rows you're going to be storing, or another 200 rows you're storing in your employee table. So what happens? Now we're inserting some more rows into this. Now what happens now? This data, again, the 200 rows we're talking about it, the data is going to be coming to the next page. Okay. Now, like that, you are going to be storing all the data into the pages. Again, you have a lot of data into department table. So layer by layer, all the data is going to come here. So there is no layers. It is called as a page. Clear? So when you store the data inside the SQL Server or Oracle or any RDBMS, so we are going to store the data in the tables, but actual data is not going to be there in the table. So if you eat the food, do you think that all food will be there as it is? No. Food will be converted into lot of energy. That is the technology that you should understand. How body is able to understand pizza, burger? It does not understand any pizza, any burger. Body can understand what? Vitamins, carbohydrate, sugar, all these things. Like that, for you, you're storing the data in where? In SQL Server databases or Oracle database or any other DB2 database. So the actual data is not going to stored in your databases. All the data is going to be stored in a file only. Clear? So where is the file? The file is available in your hard disk, right? So if you ask me, where is this file and this file, this file is stored. All the files are going to be stored with the help of one guy. Then the guy name is called operating system. This guy is going to be storing, this guy is going to be storing the files and everything in a hard disk. This is what is called your hard disk, remember. Okay. So hard disk will have C drive, D drive. For example, I have only C drive. Okay, I don't have any other drives. So this file is allocated. So this is one data file, and this is one transaction log file, and you have a lot of other files. Clear? So this is what is your hard disk. Am I clear? So you need to understand all the data of the SQL. SQL means I'm talking about any RDBMS. Any RDBMS is going to be creating a tables and storing data, but actual data is not there in the table. Table is a logical. Table is a logical. Actually, data is not going to go there in your, you know, this one. Your pizza doesn't have any energy, right? Pizza has lot of carbohydrates where the energy there. Pizza has a lot of calcium elements where the energy is there, right? Pizza has a lot of vegetables. Vegetables has a lot of other amino acids where the energy is there. So body cannot understand pizza, burger, chicken, nothing, right? So it understand only amino acids, vitamins, and carbohydrates. So like that, okay, the SQL server can understand what is a table, but table data is not going to be stored as it is. The table data is going to be occupied in pages of a data file. Where is the data file? All files, whether it is a Excel file, a data file, a text file, all the files are stored in a operating system. Clear? In a C drive or D drive, you're going to be having all these files. So you need to understand RDBMS is going to store the data in a files only. The file is available in your hard disk. So end of the day, data is not stored in the tables, but actually in all we think that RDBMS is going to store the data. RDBMS is not a storing technology. RDBMS, you see this, it is relational database management system. It is going to store the, it is going to manage the data, it is not going to store it. RDBMS, relational database. Base means banking. So when you have a large amount of data which is going to be managing, it is not going to be storing. This is very very important point you need to understand. Clear? RDBMS, relational database management system. Managing means you don't ask me where I am storing. You don't ask me where I am storing, but give me the data. I will store it elsewhere. Clear? So normally I come to home, right? I purchase lot of items. I go shopping. I purchase lot of items, shirts and trousers and wallet, lot of things I purchase. I come to my home. Either I give it to my mother and I give them to my wife. So actually, I am not going to store. The storage inside the home will be taken care by my mother. So she'll be putting all items in the cupboard. Clear? Almara, cupboard. So actually storing is done by my mother, but I'm getting the items from elsewhere. So what happens? So storing is not done by you. That's inside home. Who's going to be taking care? Mother is going to be taking care. So I purchase lot of items. I will give them to my mother, and she is arranging in the kitchen. She will be arranging in my bedroom. So everything is clear. She will be storing. I am not. But normally, so you need to understand like this. This is you. This is you. You are going to store the data in RDBMS. So you think that you are storing the data or you are giving the data to RDBMS. That's what you think. RDBMS means I'm talking about any RDBMS software. Any RDBMS tool like Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, NetEase, Teradata, all these are RDBMS softwares. We are thinking that I'm going to be giving it to this guy, but this guy internally giving it to one more guy. The one more guy is called operating system. Clear? Operating system. Operating system is going to be maintaining all the three things. It's going to be maintaining three things in your computer. What are they? It is going to be maintaining. Okay. So what is that? It is going to be having a RAM. Okay. It is going to be having your hard disk. So it is going to be having your processor, and it is going to be having your disk or hard disk. Okay, so these are the three things will be managed by the operating system only. When you give the data, when you give the data to RDBMS, you're storing the data. RDBMS is going to be taking all your data with the help of operating system. The data is going to be stored where? Already we discussed. All the data is going to be available in your hard disk only. Clear? Who's going to be storing? Actual storing is done by operating system, not by RDBMS. RDBMS will give the data. I told you, I purchase lot of items. I give them to my mother. My mother is storing all the items, kitchen items in the kitchen, and bedroom items in the bedroom, my personal items in my personal almara or the cupboard. So she is going to arrange. So who's actually arranging all the items? Not you, your mother. So your mother is now operating system. This is you. This is you. You're getting the data. This is shopkeeper giving lot of items to you because you are shopping. You're shopping. This is a shopkeeper. Shopkeeper is giving lot of items to you, and this is you, and you guys are getting the items to your home and house. And internally you are not going to go to cupboard, and you're taking help of your wife or your sister, your mother, who's taking care of the house. Clear? So that is how the things would happen. So actually the RDBMS is not going to store your data. It is a myth. If somebody says Oracle is going to store the data, no, not Oracle is not storing the data. And I'm getting a lot of salary. I never manage the salary. The complete salary I'm giving to my mother. So who's managing? My mother is managing. But everybody thinks that Bhaskar is managing. Whatever be the amount I'm getting, I give the amount to my mother. She is completely managing. So who's managing? Somebody else, right? So that's what you need to know. Everybody thinks that I'm managing, so I'm not the thing. Okay. So remember, somebody is managing the show. Managing is done by somebody, and actual storage is done by somebody. Clear? So whenever you give the data is going to go to the hard disk only. So if you need the data back, if you need the data back again, you ask, I need this shirt. So again, it will fetch the data from this hard disk. Clear? The processing, everything, whatever you wanted to do, everything is going to be done in the reverse direction. Clear? So RDBMS is going to take the data from different applications. So the data finally will get stored in a hard disk. Clear? Hard disk data means you can understand, you store it today, you come after 1,000 years, data is available. Clear? You store the data today, after 100 years or after 500 years, you come, and if you have the hard disk, you should be able to get the data. Database data is a permanent data storage, which is not going to store the data in your RAM. Clear? So RDBMS is not going to store your data inside your RAM. RAM means what? When you shut down the computer, the RAM will get emptied. No data will be available. So RDBMS data is a disk-based technology. RDBMS technology is a disk-based technology. RDBMS is going to store the data in a file. The file will be stored in a hard disk. Clear? So it is a permanent storage. That's what you need to understand. Clear? So RDBMS stands for Relational Database Management System. Management means it is not going to store data. So it is getting the data from elsewhere. This application is using operating system support, and operating system is storing the data in a hard disk. It will create a lot of files called the data files and everything, and it is going to be putting a lot of data into pages within the data file. Clear? And when you need the data back, RDBMS will ask operating system. Operating system will go to hard disk, fetch the data, and it is going to be giving the data to the RDBMS tool. RDBMS is showing the data to the customer. Clear? Or to the applications. Clear? So here you have a lot of applications. Okay. So let me write like this. You have a lot of websites, right? Lot of apps. So a lot of applications are storing the data. For example, you open Amazon.com, that is in one application or Android application. So the customer, this is you are giving a lot of data. For example, when you're making credit card bill, you are the customer, right? You are the customer. You should be able to give your data. Okay, you open credit card, you enter the name and enter the number, click on submit, and you get a password and OTP that you submit. The purchase is going to be happening in Amazon.com. So customer is going to use a website or an application. Application is talking to RDBMS. RDBMS is talking to operating system. Operating system is keeping the data in a hard disk. Clear? So this applications could be a website, a web application, or could be desktop application, or could be mobile application, mobile app. It could be any app. Clear? So that is what you should understand. Clear? So you don't directly involve with RDBMS. RDBMS is going to be getting the data through applications. I go to Amazon.com. I wanted to register. So I get a form. Tell me your name, Bhaskar Jogi. Tell me your phone number, address. Click on create a new user. When I click on like that, what happens? The data through this application is going to go where? Is going to go to some RDBMS, and I log in. I keep on purchasing, buying items and making the payments. So all the payment details through this application is going to come where? Going to come to RDBMS. RDBMS is storing with the help of operating system in a hard disk. My data will get preserved into a hard disk end of the day. Clear? So tomorrow I go there. I wanted to see what are the items the Amazon is going to be having. So these are the items. I wanted to look for, let us say, music, or I wanted to have jewelry. So that is what I wanted to, I'm interested in. So jewelry, and click on search. So what happens now? I wanted to get the information. These photos and price and earnings, jewelry sets. So all the names and everything are displayed, are getting from where? From this hard disk only. So who's going to be getting? When I click off a button, when I click on a button here, search button, so what has happened? So this application went to RDBMS and asked, I need this data within nanoseconds or milliseconds. RDBMS went to operating system and went to the hard disk and got this data, and application is showing the data. So this is the data. So that I wanted to have it. So now I wanted to buy this gold. Click on this. Now I click on buy now. Again, I'm going to be supplying my user ID and password. So I go here, I supply my user ID and password. Then later I make the payments. Again, payment data is going to be going where? Into the hard disk via RDBMS. Clear? Web application is going to be having a backend as a SQL server is Oracle. Oracle will have a table. Table name is called sales table. The sales table is going to get what is the customer ID, what is the amount is paying, what is the date of sales, and how many grams of gold is purchasing now. Lot of information is being stored. Am I clear? Now I wanted to, connect it to SQL Server.
I have a question. So this is Pavan.
Yeah, please go ahead and ask.
Yeah. When a transaction is performed, as you have said right now, I have logged into an Amazon portal, and
Mhm.
after that, I'm trying to search. So every action which I'm performing will get logged into the log file, or when I make a search, only the search task will
No,
get stored.
I did not, spoken about this. Please hold your question because transaction log file I never discussed, right? We will discuss this. Very
Okay.
good question. We'll discuss that. What is the purpose of transaction log file? I'll tell you. Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
yeah. So, are you clear, guys? So, I wanted to show you and some information here. Why is this going here and there? Okay. Now, so this is my SQL Server. So, how to open SQL Server? Yesterday I told you, right? So, opening SQL Server is very important. What you do, you go to Start. You go to Start and opening SQL Server. Let me show you once again. So, after installation, you need to go to where? Start. Then you say SSMS. So, SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, so this is how you're going to be having and press enter. People who are new. So I go to start and I say SSMS and I will be able to see Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. Click on this. So SSMS is the tool which is RDBMS software or SQL software. It will take some time to open it. Please, don't be, worried. So just wait. You will be able to get. Let me close this window. I don't need this. It is opening, right? So no worries. It may take some time. I wanted to show you all these files, transaction log file, and we have data file, primary file groups, all of them I wanted to show you. So this is what we have discussed. Clear? So whenever you create a database, by default one file group, by default one transaction log file, and one data file will be available, and one data file will have one or more extents, and one extent will be having 8 pages. One table data is occupied in one or more pages, right? So if you see the diagram, you can understand. This is one table occupied into more pages. One table data occupied in more pages. These pages are part of an extent. Table is having data in page is part of extent is part of data file is within the file group within the database will be part of a SQL setup. The setup is available in your computer if you do the reverse engineering. Clear, guys? So always you need to understand. I think we have now opened our SQL server. Okay, let me go back to my SQL server so you can connect. How can we connect? I told you server name is a dot. Why dot? I explained clearly in yesterday's video. You please watch it. Okay, so local SQL server default instance, you can put a dot and click on connect. So I am connecting into SQL Server. Now I have a lot of databases, Amazon, AdventureWorks, and the company and library merge. Lot of databases I have created. So in a given setup, you can have These many databases you can have. Clear? So let me go, and these many databases I have created. If you want to create a new database, it's very simple. Right click on this and say new database. It's very, very simple to create a database. You can give your name, or I can say India. I wanted to create a database called India and underscore, COVID cases. I wanted to have COVID. So India underscore COVID, and you can give 2020. You can give a year number or something, India underscore COVID. I wanted to create a database and click on OK. Once you create a database, now the database is here. Now go to database and refresh. Now what happens? That is here. Clear? Now I have created the database. Now I wanted to show you something here. Okay? Yeah, I will send it Nilpa. So I'll go to India COVID. So right click on this, go to properties, You can see a file group. I told you by default you will have one primary file group. Within that you will have one file. So it is a default file group, and you can go for the files. Now this is where the file is available. So there are two types of the files. One is called a log file. This is MDF file. It is a LDF file, and this is the path. Clear? And this is a data file, and this is a log file. Extension is .ldf, .ndf, and this is the path. Let me go to this path, Control C, and go to start, say run, and let me give this path. Now this is the path where complete files are being stored. Now see, they have created India COVID MDF file. It is MDF, which is a log file. You can see. So this is what is called a primary data file. This is what is called a log file. Have you seen this? So every database is going to be having minimum two files. Maximum you can have any number of files. So by default, one MD, the primary data file, and this is a log file. So these are the two files got created, and you cannot open, you cannot do anything. So you're attempting to open the file type, blah, blah, blah. You never open it, never try to delete it, never try to modify it. Okay. So every database will have a two files. One is called MDF file, one is called LDF file. So this is available within the primary file group, and log file does not have any file group. Clear? So how to see this? Seeing is very simple. Right click on this, go to properties, and what are the file groups I can have? You can simply go, and only one file group. File group is a folder. One folder you have. Within that you have one file. So go to files, and what is the path of the file that you can see. So this is the path, and this is MDF, and this is LDF. If you want to create some more files, you can create. You can create some more files, because the PPT is saying clearly you can have much more data files as well. If one file is full, we can create one more file. Clear? If one file group is, if you need one more file group, you can also go in for one more file group. So creation and deletion is very, very simple. That we can do it later. You can simply go, and if you want to create one more file group, you can create add file group. That's it. So give a name. You can say secondary. You can give any name, any name. So you can say secondary, or you can say some ABC. This is the file group name, secondary file group name, and click on OK. File group is a folder. So you have created a folder. So simply like this. And within this folder, no files are available. You can go to file, add a file. What is the file? You can say India underscore data file. You can give any name. You can give any name. You can say ABC also fine. Anything. But let me give India COVID. Let us say this is a new file. So this is a rows data or log file. So this is a data log file and data file. It is a log, data file, and which folder you can keep it. I have two folders. So primary or ABC. Let me have this as part of ABC and create it. So automatically you will get extension. Clear? So creating and refresh once, all of them, and you go right click on this, go to properties, you can go to file groups. Now one file here, one file here. You can simply go now. You can see lot of, this is a MDF file, this is a LDF file, log file it is, right? And this is a NDF file. When you create a new file, first file will be an MDF. If you create one more file, the extension is, the new file extension is .ndf. NDF stands for next data file. MDF, master data file. Whether it is a next or master doesn't matter. You're going to be having lot of data in these files. Clear? You can have lot of data files, lot of file groups like this, and click on OK. If you want to create one more file group, you can create. If you want to create one more file also, you can create. If the C drive is full, and I can create one more file in D drive and attach the file to the this guy, it is going to be storing the data inside this. Clear? So like that, you can have a lot of files and file groups. We also discuss this later. No worries about it. So this is how you can understand how the data being stored. Now, what is the need for the transaction log file? What is the need? Why every RDBMS is maintaining a transaction log file? So transaction log file is a camera inside your office. What is the purpose of camera on the roads or on the offices? Why? Because if something goes wrong, we can replay the video and understand what went wrong. Clear? So whatever you do, whatever be the thing that you're doing, reading the data, putting the data, whatever the thing that you're doing, so complete information is being recorded in this series of records are going to log. Okay, so this is just like a video. So if you see the video is going to log just like a CC camera or your camera in the traffic. So what happens, complete morning, morning to evening, so 24 by 7 the logs are on. If something goes wrong, if everything is smooth, nobody is going to be verifying the recordings in your office. If something goes wrong, they wanted to verify what had happened yesterday, why the fire accident happens. Let me open the video recording and see. So that is very, very important. Clear? Transaction log file is going to capture each and everything, who logged in, who opened, who created what, who's doing what. So each and every information, whatever the operation that you're doing inside the RDBMS will get recorded into transaction log file. But when the transaction log files are important, so these are important when something goes wrong in your database. So especially for the recovering the data, or if something goes wrong, for example, you went to the ATM machine, you wanted to withdraw the cash. Okay, you said I wanted to withdraw $500, and you put your card, enter your ATM pin, and you enter $500. The machine did not give you money, but amount got debited. 500 debited. That is the message you got it. Then machine is stuck. Which machine? ATM machine is stuck. It's a unable to give you the cash. Sorry. So what happens? So the transaction is not yet complete, right? So are we calling a banks nowadays? We are not calling. Within few seconds, you will get the $500 is credited. So why? If there is a failure, so how does SQL server know that there is a failure happened? How does ATM machine knows that the amount did not go there? Because of a beautiful guy called a transaction log file. Okay, so it knows that this transaction is not yet completed, because whatever be the task is done, that will be undone. So 500, debited, that will get credited because of this file only. Clear? So this is a transaction log file. Any transaction that you're doing, so if it is incomplete, okay, or incomplete, or it is somewhere the failure occurs, so whatever be the task, the work is done so far, that will get undone. So debited means credited, credited means debited. Clear? So that is happening automatically by rdbms. rdbms is going to use a transaction log file. Clear? So transaction log file data automatically will get updated. You're not going to be having a cameraman, right? Automatically camera is fixed, then you start it. There's no cameraman start action, nothing. Nothing will be there. So transaction log file are automatically getting each and every operation that you're doing. Whatever be the thing, you insert the data, delete the data, transfer the data, whatever you do, everything will get recorded. What is the purpose? The purpose is very simple. If something goes wrong, you can recover the data. You can recover the data very easily. So with the help of a transaction log file. So can I have a database without a transaction log file? Answer is no. Can I have a database without a transaction log file? Answer is no. Clear? So remember this point. Why transaction log file? Why transaction log file? So why transaction log file? People may ask you to recover the data in emergencies. Clear? To recover the data in emergency. See, something goes wrong. Clear?
Sir, I have a
So
question.
one, pardon?
I have a question.
Yeah, please.
So when you delete the file, does it also get deleted from the transaction log file, or it's you can still find it there
If you
once you
delete
deleted
something,
that?
if you when you delete something, it is going to be putting the information into this log file, saying that this row has been deleted by so and so person and so time. The complete data and details are going to be there in your transaction log file. Clear? So everything will be available.
The deleted file, who deleted it
Record.
will be there.
Yeah.
So you cannot really get rid of any file forever.
You
Like,
cannot, you cannot. There are a lot of other things that you can do it. So it is simply, you can say recycle bin. You know recycle bin, right?
okay.
Something you delete, it will go to there.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Thank
can
you.
understand as of now like that. Yeah. So minimum one transaction log file per database. Okay. So can I have, all these are interview questions. Can I have DB without a log file? What is the answer? The answer is no. Clear? So to recover the data, we are going to be having this minimum one transaction log file we can have, and it is not part of any file group. Okay, and it does not have any pages and extents. Remember this. So it does not have any pages and extents. It is not part of any file group, and it is going to be having a series of transactions just like a video format. When you open the video file, there is no page and extents. But when you buy a book, you will have a lot of pages, right? So the data is stored in the pages and extents, but the transaction log file does not have any pages and extents, and minimum one transaction log file is important. If this file is full, then you can create one more file. You can have many number of transaction log files, and the transaction log file very important. Clear? And what is an extent? I told you extent is 8 pages are called as an extent. Clear? So it is very, very important that 8 pages are called an extent. And what is a page? Page is going to be having 8 KB size. Am I clear? So any other questions? So this is what you got to understand, not only in SQL Server, Oracle, DB2, MySQL, Teradata, whatever be the RDBMS application you take, data finally is being stored in a in your hard disk with the help of operating system. So you need to understand RDBMS needs the help of operating system. Otherwise, RDBMS is not a independent software, which is a dependent software on operating system. So this is also one of the core rules. Clear? RDBMS cannot work independently. It has to has the dependency on operating system. Operating system could be Windows or Linux, or you may have, anything else, Unix, or, whatever be the operating system that you have. So that has to support this RDBMS software. Clear? So these operating system as well as your, RDBMS will work together to store the data, to fetch the data. Clear? So this is what you need to understand, guys. What is the purpose of a file group? The purpose of a file group is to create or to store the data, the files, together. So that is the purpose of a file group. Clear? So let me give you. Need for file groups means administrative and data allocation placement purposes, unit for backup. I can go in for, why are we creating a folders? Because I can copy the data. For example, I say John data, Bhaskar's data. Why do we need to create two folders? I can take the backup tomorrow of a John data. I wanted to delete tomorrow John's data. I wanted to delete my data, Bhaskar's data. If I create a folder, the placement and allocation is very, very easy. I can easily take a backup, copy, paste, move, cut, whatever I want to do it, I can easily do it. That is the need for the file group. Okay. So do you have any questions? So it is theoretical, but make sure you understand this clearly and write down the notes. I'm strongly recommending you buy a notebook and say video number 1 notes, video number 2 notes, video number 3 notes. You write the notes with your hands so that your notes is ready, and before going for the interview you can refer the notes very, very easily. You cannot play the video, right? You cannot play with the videos. So make sure that on daily basis you pause and you write the notes. Pause the video, write the notes. Pause the video, write the notes. You easily understand the topics. Am I clear? So slowly we start the lab. In another 2 to 3 days later, probably 3 4 days later, we're going to be starting the lab. So by that time, make sure that you install the software. You call my team. Okay, you call my team and you ask them the software or write them. So this is my mail ID. Please send me a software. So they'll be able to reply. So either today, so a couple of them will get, the softwares and everything. And yesterday, I think they have sent it to few students, and make sure that you also write a mail to them today. You will be able to receive the remaining things. Clear? Thank you, guys. Any other questions?